Hi, I've got a question that just came through, and one of my commenters, and I tried to answer it a little bit, so I thought I'd do this video. He was asking me, is there any online companies doing this in the United States? Honestly, I don't know. The United States, if there is, I think it's going to be difficult. The reason I'm saying that is because in order for them to operate in China, they must have the approval of the Chinese Communist Party or one of their puppets, somebody they're controlling, because you're a foreigner bringing new ideas through media into China. So it appears to me you must partner up with a party-controlled entity in China. That's what I think. Now, for teaching in America, I think we're at a precipice, and I think we're in a very dangerous time with our education system. Number one, parents aren't standing up and saying educate our children in the right way, because when you try to educate the children, the parents want to sue you because you're too strict, or you're giving too much homework, or my child isn't happy. And I want you to look back at when we were in school and how difficult it was for us. But we were in the middle of a Cold War. We were in the middle of industrialization. We were making great strides in science, in math, in studies, in geographical development. We were at the forefront of developed civilized countries. Then we influxed all the immigrants, and I'm not blaming them. And then we started getting these entitled parents who probably should or shouldn't have had children at their time. A lot of parents, a lot of you, weren't mentally ready to start doing that, and a lot of you get defensive. A lot of parents, generalizing, get defensive if a teacher tells their child or tries to discipline their child. What they did was they took discipline out of the classroom. They started timing out. They started coddling these children. The classroom lost control. The classroom became controlled by the legal system and not by the educational system. This is what's killed the American education system. Teachers today, and I was a mainstream brick and mortar teacher when I first started out in the United States, and I was under a lot of rules that never existed when I was in school. One of those was capital punishment, not capital, corporal, whatever. Yeah, I got my butt spanked a few times, and then I got it again when I got home. Why? My parents were serious. A lot of parents today, oh no, you can't touch my child, and then when they go home, oh, it's okay, I'll take care of you, I'll go over there and and I'll have something to say about that teacher. Oh, let's get a lawyer, let's sue the school. Hey, let's make some money. We don't have to have an education, we'll just become suers. That will work, won't it? See, the mentality of the modern parent is, screw the education. My kid can develop on his own. Well, you know what? You can plant a turnip in the garden and it'll grow, but it's still going to be a turnip. And I don't like turnips. They taste bad. But if you get my drift, online teaching now has opened up in the America, but who's going to contract those people? What are the wages going to be? What are the benefits going to be? The school systems in America who decide or may decide to go into this online virtual learning may take the same attitude as the Chinese and say, you are now independent contractors and we don't have to pay you benefits. You're no longer in the teachers union. You no longer have to come to PTA. You don't have to do your bus duties. You don't have to worry about disciplining your kids. In other words, all you got to do is spew out the lessons and sit in that seat, and we're going to pay you minimum wage. It's possible. So do I think that online teaching is going to become the way of the American schools? It's quite possible. I think we've opened a Pandora's box. I can honestly remember back in 1970, no, in the late 60s, when I was in school, there was a girl that got either meningitis or something. Anyway, she was bedridden. And the school actually took speaker boxes and they actually fixed her bedroom up where she could listen to the lessons and do her work. Now this was, to me, I remember this, and that's the forefront of online learning that stands in my mind. Did it have the video with it? No, it didn't. The next thing that stands in my mind was there was a school in Australia that came to Thailand and visited one of the schools I was teaching at a few years ago. And they wanted to partner a classroom, virtual reality. That's the second time that it hit me. Virtual learning, distance learning from country to country. I don't know whatever happened with that program. I really don't, but I do distinctly remember that before, quote, this online thing that we're doing between China and teaching English lessons. What I think, what I would hope is that the classroom may be a virtual learning situation, but my personal hope, and it would be so expensive, if you could get the Bezos of the world, if you could get the rich of the world, what I call the hoarders of wealth in the world, to say, hey, I don't need this much money, really. I mean, I don't need it. What am I doing? Look at me. Hey, I got a brand new suit while there's starving people in the world. No, I think what I would like to do, now I'm saying this as a person, if I was Bezos, now he's probably going to want to do it to make a fortune off of it, but hey, it's an idea. Those of you who looked at the remake of Star Trek, the first one, with not the old one, but one of the newer ones where they were putting together the original team. You look at what they call the Vulcan Science Academy. Now in this, they had these pods, and the teachers actually had the programs. And the teachers would go across at the top, and they would actually look at the students, observe the students. Each student had their own pod, but they were virtually immersed in whatever subject it was they were studying. So instead of wearing the VR glasses, which may be an alternative to what I'm saying, they were in this round cubicle, and they were actually immersed in the history lesson, or in the science lesson, or in the math lesson. Total virtual immersion. Any questions and any problems they may have, the teacher could step in and help them individually. And they would progress through these and then be sent. Now that was a high school because they had to graduate from this in order to be recommended for the Vulcan Science Academy, which was equal to the Starfleet Academy. Anyway, that's my idea. Have a class or have a school that would have these virtual lesson pods where the students were immersed within this thing. They're very visual, they're very interactive, they want to be, like video games. But can you imagine a classroom where the students walk in, or a school where they walk in, they put their code in, they step into their room, and the room becomes alive around them individually. There's no cell phones, there's no games, they're not being distracted by their friends. They're totally immersed in the lesson, and they're critiqued in the lesson. They're guided in the lesson. And this is all very visual. They hear it, they see it, they speak it. I really think that would be a massive, massive step towards modern education, future education. But it's going to take a lot of money. So if you could get the rich, like the Bezos and all these billionaires that really don't need that much money personally, to personally spend, and I'm just making a general statement, I think you could see a big jump. I mean, a very huge rush into virtual learning. So do I know of any American schools doing it? No, I don't. To hire on with the school and do virtual learning right now, I am assuming that you need to have a teaching degree, because a teacher is not allowed to teach in a public school if they don't, even a substitute for now, without a bachelor's degree, a certification, or license to teach in that state. There's some states like mine, from Texas, I can actually carry mine over into certain states. Some I can't. I think if you're going to pursue this, you're going to need licensed degree teachers. My fear is that they're going to start allowing people like the online industry did. Oh, we got a teacher shortage, so we're going to get $5 Groupon teachers that we're going to allow to come in and teach our English classes. Or, well, we have someone who got a TEFL degree in mathematics. You see, we have TEFL in English. What's going to stop somebody from suddenly offering TEFL degrees in math, science, stuff like this? We could be opening the door to some lesser quality instruction also. But to get back to the original question, do I know of any companies that just specialize teaching online? No, I don't. If I did, I would actually like to hear from them. I would like to know about them, and I would probably apply to teach. So I'm licensed in the United States. I've got my bachelor's degree in education. It would be something I would be interested in. I really would. I don't think there would be necessarily an age barrier. I don't think that it would be labor intensive to a degree as it would if you were in the mainstream classroom. I'm certified to teach all subjects, grades 1 through 8, so I feel like I could probably fill the role. So yeah, I'd like to hear about it too. It could be that some of the schools, let's say, and I'm just going to pull one out, like the Houston Independent School District. I don't know much about it. But what if they were to suddenly do like some of the universities do, and they branch out into the rural communities, into these small towns that possibly transport children by bus to another town to school, and they offer online learning for credit, graduate credit, through the Houston school systems, even though those students are in a whole entirely different area of the country. That may be a possibility too. Again, it takes money. These are ideas that I would probably pursue if I had the money. The technology is there. In fact, I'm partners with a friend of mine, and we both do online learning. We have a few students of our own from China right now. Presently, I'm doing business, English, sales, marketing, promotions, communications, business for specific purposes for a couple of major companies online. And so, yeah, these are some ideas. So, a totally independent American online teaching company, I don't know. Are there schools out there doing it right now within their own district and trying to do a good job? Yes, there is. can you get a job doing it in those schools? I would probably have to say the odds are no, not without the degree and the certifications, things like that. So if you hear of anything, let me know. I'd be interested in something like that. I really would, even though I live in another country. I don't think you would be bound having to live in the countries. I do think that it would cause a problem with your taxes, because as an independent contractor, I'm totally responsible for my own stuff. I live in another country, and if the U.S. would do what I would assume they would do, they would start taking out 20% of your money without giving you any benefit for it. That would be something else to consider. Teaching online where I'm at now with these other companies, as an independent contractor, they don't do that. So I think we'd be up in the air with that. I think that would be something we would have to look at. Are they going to call you a regular employee? Are they going to call you a salaried employee? I don't know. But if you got any ideas or you hear anything, let me know. This is Teacher Terry. Hope this helps a little bit. Maybe see you in a